Adrian Wojnarowski.
Yes, stuck the landing. Nice
but
job.
he says whatever. Adrian Wojnarowski, that's how I've been saying it, so I'm going to keep saying it, is saying that he is going to step away from his NBA reporting. He's going to take a job. St. Bonaventure, is that where he's going?
That's correct. That's his alma mater.
Yeah, head up the basketball and athletics over there and take a job. So people are chiming in on this. The likes of Pat McAfee is one of them who is chiming in. But before we get to what McAfee said, I just want to play for you one quick thing that brought up Pat McAfee yesterday. You've heard about the LIV PGA Tour merger thing, how PGA Tour players want the LIV guys to give the money back. So McAfee has nothing to do with this story, but they're talking about it on Pardon the Interruption. And Wilbon is asked by Kornheiser what he makes of the PGA Tour players saying they want LIV guys to give the money back.
Wilbon, is this a reasonable request? I can't use the words that I would use to the face of any one of those colleagues if they suggested that. I guess if I wore a black tank top and I could get away with those words on this show, I would use them.
So there's very subtle sniping going on at McAfee already.
Yeah, because he's subtle. I don't think that's subtle at all. I'll push back on that.
Because he's terrible. He's terrible. And I love Jim Norton, but on the Jim and Sam show, I was telling you guys, I heard them say the only reason people don't like Pat McAfee is because they're jealous. And I say, no.
I would say no, dummy.
Sucks. Yeah. And by the way, Wojnarowski was not great. He was a good columnist for Yahoo, and then he just became a guy that broke stuff on Twitter. So this whole eulogy of what the world's missing is a little misguided.
See, the way you just said his name, I think is how he says his name, Wojnarowski.
I don't know. Who knows?
But it's not spelled that way, but that's how he says it.
All right, so Pat McAfee, who stands up in a tank top and yells and no one watches his show on TV, but they watch it on other platforms, which doesn't make ESPN any money. Here is Pat McAfee, and in all seriousness, he works for the company, so he's got some big ideas on how they should replace this fella.
We do know another person who is...
That's the way he talks. I hate him. But no, another person.
He hasn't said anything yet.
Yeah, he has. He doesn't say anything ever.
We do know another person who is incredibly handsome, good on TV, plugged, currently a free agent, I believe.
What?
Has there been texts and calls of the universe literally just pieced this thing together, seemingly? Sham Shamaya.
Oh, no, really? You think that guy, the guy that's not Adrian Wojnarowski, that breaks all the news, should be the guy, you stupid idiot?
Who saw that coming?
All right, so anyway, he's a moron. But Adam Schefter, who's very tall, I should say he's not, he's very, very tiny. Did you see they had him in that gladiator outfit, or that it was some kind of outfit on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football or something? He was dressed as an Aladdin or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, how did they get that child's costume? Because if you meet him in person, you think because he's got slick back hair and nice suits, he'd be a little taller, but he's a man of 4'11". John Clayton towered above him. I'm not joking. Here is Adam Schefter talking about the guy. Now, this again is a guy, and I have nothing against him. But he broke news on Twitter. He wasn't crafting the great American novel here. He wasn't, this isn't your 1979 Boston Globe with Gammons and Ryan and all these guys. This is a guy putting out tweets, but here we go.
As a fellow reporter and a friend of Woj, what's your reaction to today's news?
First of all, it's a eulogy. It's insanity.
As a fellow reporter and a friend of Woj, what's your reaction to today's news?
It makes me really sad, Jay, to be perfectly frank. It makes me emotional to talk about Woj not being a part of our network and our company. On the other hand, I am so happy for him doing exactly what it is that he wants to do. He is looking for a job that is more gratifying, more fulfilling, and he loves his school and he loves the St. Bonaventure basketball program, and he's going to do...
Yeah, he's going to go be like the towel boy for the St. Bonaventure program.
I think they prefer the term equipment manager.
Yes, he's going to be assistant equipment manager for the St. Bonaventure Athletic. He must have made some money because this is like early retirement for him.
Unbelievable things for that school, but I will miss him as a friend. I will miss the heads up of him calling me to say he's working on a big trade and we get to talk about how to handle a certain story.
Why don't you just talk to him on the phone anyway? He's not dead. Like, how much were you like around the guy? By the way, Wojnarowski said that he was only sleeping 3 hours a night throughout the whole year. That was the thing, is he said, I'm only sleeping 3 hours a night because I have to be on top of all the breaking news, or else the world will end.
And little things that are going on in advance. I love him as a reporter. I love him as a friend. And he is the best basketball reporter who ever was. You can't lose.
That's not true. It's simply not true. He broke news on Twitter. He was the most connected current basketball guy. But in terms of like being entertaining,
writing about the sport and furthering the love of it, no.
Being entertaining, like a great writer is entertaining.
Bob Ryan, for example, an excellent basketball reporter.
Exactly, and he like gets you in the.
It made you think about things,
Yes.
or gets you like in the team. Like there's a difference between going, oh, the Clippers are going to sign Kevin Durant, or going, you know, when I during after the game in Milwaukee, the coach was yelling at this player, and then this player was saying this. Like there's a difference between crafting a good story and just announcing something on Twitter. Again, Adrian Wojnarowski was great at what he did, but he was not
He's not Bob Ryan. He's not Jackie McMullen.
He wasn't like a phenomenal writer,
That's
like this
correct.
like great reporter.
Yep.
He was a guy who wrote stuff on Twitter, and he did it very well. But I don't know if that's overly good for us as consumers, and certainly not for the profession of sports writing. And I bet you if you asked other sports writers, they might agree with me.
Whoever was. You can't lose somebody like that. The equivalent.
You don't lose him. He's alive, you stupid idiot.
Of Barry Sanders in the prime of his career and think that you're going to be the same without him. You're not. And I'm going to miss him. And I think of this past year and everything that we've been through. We lost our dear beloved friend Chris Mortensen in February.
He died. He died, Adam.
That's a little different.
Yes, he's no longer of this mortal plane.
Yes.
It's very sad.
Yes.
But Adrian Wojnarowski can still call you and text you. And unless you have a Ouija board, I don't know if that can happen with people who have passed.
We now lose Woj. And honestly, it makes me emotional thinking about all the departures of so many great reporters from our network, so many people that I loved so dearly. And we're going to miss him. But again, I'm really happy for him. It's hard for me to imagine that LeBron James outlasted Woj in the NBA, but that's what happened here in the end. And let the record show that his final player bomb came involving Isaac Okoro. Now, I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have had that in the family pool as well.
No.
But the fact of the matter is, Isaac Okoro was his last big player story, and then he saved his best Woj bomb for last. The news that he is resigning from ESPN. He is retiring from the news industry. He is going to work for his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. And I, all of a sudden, have gone from not only being a Michigan basketball fan, rooting for Dusty May, but for rooting for Woj and the Bonnies.
Go.
You know what I just figured out? Adam Schefter is stupid. He's stupid. He's stupid. He's a dumb guy. Everything he just said was dumb. He could have said nice stuff like he was a friend of mine, or he is a friend of mine. And look, man, the guy was busting his ass. He was only sleeping 3 hours a night. He loves St. Bonaventure. He's going there. I wish him the best. This is awesome. I don't know if anyone can fill his shoes, but he's so stupid. He went on for 2 minutes and compared him to Chris Mortensen, who's dead. Not in an offensive way, just in an extraordinarily dumb way. He's dumb because all he's got to do is be on is text for a living. Nothing he does requires anything but a phone. It really doesn't. He just needs a phone. He needs a phone to go on Twitter, and he needs a phone. He doesn't write articles. He doesn't write stories. He just vomits out diarrhea that people tell him. And how much of it is that important? Not that much. So there you go. Adam Schefter is not only very tiny, he's stupid.
Congrats to Woj, though. being able to step away from that gig at age 55 to go do something else.
That's
like
awesome.
It is.
I always like that.
Paycheck is a little different.
I always, but I don't know.
Paycheck
No, the
is
paycheck's gonna be a lot different.
Much different.
I don't think that he was swimming in money at ESPN, but what do I know?